Hey, it's Jason. It's been a few weeks since Google debuted the new Pixel 9 lineup, a collection of 4 different phones all sporting new looks and features, which no doubt drew a lot of hype and excitement. And even though I was able to get a really early hands-on with the Pixel 9, I didn't really get a chance to test out all its features, so I decided to pick one up, and I've been actually using it as my primary phone for the past week, and it's been interesting to say the least. Now, quick disclaimer, this is a phone that I bought on my own at Best Buy. It was not provided to me by Google or through the Team Pixel program, and that's not a stab at Team Pixel or anything like that, but I just wanted to let you all know. Also, before you all ask in the comments, if you guys want a full res copy of this wallpaper, just sign up for my free newsletter. I send out a weekly free wallpaper to all my subscribers, and it gives me a chance to connect with you all on a more personal level. It's totally free. Link to the newsletter is in the description below. Okay, first, let's talk about the Pixel 9's design and form factor because it got a pretty significant facelift. The Pixel 9 introduces a more modernized design that departs from the previous generation's rounded aesthetics. It features flat sides, a flat back, and a centered camera module with a distinct oval shape. Now, the frame of the Pixel 9 is made out of aluminum, and it's not completely squared off with the front and back of the phone. There's a slight chamfer that makes the phone a lot more comfortable to hold while still giving it that industrial look and feel. I love how the frame has a brushed finish. It gives the phone a clean and refined look, and even though it does contrast nicely with the glossy finish on the back, the phone can very quickly become quite a fingerprint magnet. Though Google did a great job with all the colors this year, I decided to go with winter green, and I think it looks fantastic. It's vibrant and it gives off a really fresh vibe, and though it is playful, it doesn't make the Pixel 9 look cheap in any way. As far as the updated camera housing, I do like the pill-shaped cutout. It's not as loud as the signature Pixel bar, but I feel as though it's a refined way to keep the design element in place, and it fits in with the overall updated form factor. Now, the display on the Pixel 9 is also a standout feature, boasting a slightly larger 6.3-inch Actua AMOLED panel with a 1080p resolution and a variable refresh rate that can clock up to 120Hz. The thin symmetrical bezel makes consuming content really immersive, and with the updated form factor, it's a really comfortable phone to navigate. The screen's upgraded peak brightness of 2700 nits makes it highly visible even under direct sunlight, and the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 adds an extra layer of durability to the phone while still maintaining an IP68 dust and water resistance rating. Now, one thing that I was really happy to see is that Google finally updated the in-display fingerprint reader to an ultrasonic one, and it performs way better. Not only is it more secure and reliable, it's faster than the dated optical sensor Google has been using for way too long, and it's a very nice upgrade to have. And overall, 1 week later when talking design, this to me is quite a leap forward when it comes to build and execution. Despite having elements that look the same as the previous generations, the Pixel 9 looks and feels much more like a premium flagship phone now. Does it have striking similarities to some of the competition out there? Yes, it does, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I like how Google decided to use best practices here. Yes, you could call it playing it safe, but the Pixel 9 to me really nails the fundamentals when it comes to form factor and what people expect nowadays, and it's a big step forward in my opinion. And real quick, if you are a fan of the Pixel 9's new look, do me a favor and press the like button to let me know, and consider subscribing to the channel if you are new here. Now, at the heart of the Pixel 9 is Google's Tensor G4 chipset, the company's latest iteration of their in-house mobile processor. And look, if you're kind of triggered by even hearing the word Tensor, I don't blame you. Google's transition to this homegrown chip has been choppy to say the least. Now, the G4 from a technical standpoint isn't necessarily a spec leap forward over last year's G3, but Google did make it a point to say that the upgrade this year is focused on 2 primary things. Number 1, there is a vapor chamber that should make for better thermal management. The Tensor has been plagued with throttling issues due to heating, so this addition is nice to see. Number 2, the Tensor G4 is specifically designed to better manage AI-related tasks, the main thing Google talked about at this year's Pixel 9 keynote. And before we jump into the AI features, from a general non-AI day-to-day performance standpoint, the Pixel 9 has been doing great. Apps load up quickly, and navigating around Android OS is smooth and jitter-free. The little gaming that I do is easily managed, and so far the battery life has been pretty solid as well. I could easily get through a day of moderate use if I start the day off on a full charge, which is really nice to see. And so far, I haven't experienced any major heating issues with the Pixel 9. I do recognize that it's early and we'll have to see how this phone handles big software updates like the big jump to Android 15, which is likely imminent. We're gonna have to wait and see, but it's been running pretty cool up to this point. Now, when it comes to the AI and machine learning capabilities, Google claims that the Tensor G4 can process AI tasks at 45 tokens per second, which is significantly faster than the other competitors out there at this current date and time. Moreover, with the Tensor G4, many of the AI tasks are processed directly on the device rather than relying on cloud processing. This improves both privacy and speed, making interactions with AI noticeably smoother and more efficient. Now, I haven't tested all of the new AI things that the Pixel 9 could do, but I did test out some of their new features, and I would say all of them are kind of impressive, but not all of them are what I would consider useful. So one of the things Gemini can do is, say you're reading an article on your phone, but it's super long and you want to just get the gist of it. No problem, just fire up Gemini and you can ask it to summarize the article for you, and in a very short turnaround, it does a pretty thorough job of giving you a succinct, accurate summary. And what's really cool is that you can now do this for YouTube videos, which is kind of nuts. It's the same process, just fire up Gemini and ask it to summarize the video, and it gives you a thorough summary surprisingly fast. Now, both of these applications I find to be quite useful, and so far the results have been impressive. The Pixel 9 also has access to the new Pixel Studio, where you can take advantage of Google's AI image generator. I'm not gonna lie, given what it can do, it does work really well and it's actually crazy fast, but this is much more of a parlor trick to me than it is a useful AI feature. And of course, there's the new Add Me feature on the camera app where you can take a photo and then take another photo to add yourself into it. It does take some time and coordination to do it right, but the results are surprisingly okay, especially in well-lit conditions. Do I consider it useful? No, not really, mainly because it's just easier to ask someone to just take the photo for you or just do that selfie thing. So as impressive as this new feature may be, it's not exactly one that I feel most people are going to really use. And that brings me to the camera performance overall. The Pixel 9 has the same 50 megapixel main sensor and 10 megapixel front-facing camera it used last year, but it did upgrade the ultra-wide camera to a new 48 megapixel sensor. Generally speaking, 1 week later, the stills this phone is able to produce are pretty great, as to be expected. The photos are rich and vibrant and still have that moody color signature the Pixel is known for. And Google stepped it up with the ability to take really good photos in low light conditions. It's even better than before, and that's saying a lot considering that the Pixel was the OG of night sight. Now, I will say sometimes the pictures can come off a bit overbaked in my opinion, which means they look a tad overprocessed at times. This could be a good thing for you if you want a more dolled up image that you can immediately post to Instagram and be happy with, but it may not be the best if you want a more natural looking photo. Google also beefed up the AI features within the Magic Editor to now give you the ability to reimagine a portion of the photo, and it works surprisingly well. Like, you can take this image here and select the grass and reimagine it with wildflowers or something like autumn leaves, and the results are pretty dang good. I should also mention that the time it takes to render edits using Magic Editor have noticeably gone down. It still takes a while, but it's not as egregiously long as it was on older Pixel models. Now, when it comes to video, the Pixel 9 does a pretty decent job in this area. The 4K footage looks great in good lighting, and Google does seem to be putting in a lot of effort to make the Pixels take better video. It does still struggle sometimes with focus hunting and auto exposure, but I think this may be some of the best 4K video that you can get from a non-iPhone right now. And an important thing to note, the Pixel 9 does not have Google's video boost feature like it does with the Pixel 9 Pro, which can make your videos look better after being processed by Google's machine learning AI. This is really only effective for super shaky videos or videos shot in low light, so it's not the biggest deal not having this on the Pixel 9, but it is something that you're going to want to keep in mind. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is the cost of the Pixel 9 and correspondingly its value. The base model starts out at $799 US. That is a slight increase from the $699 price tag of the Pixel 8. Now, given all the enhancements that the Pixel 9 has, I'm not really mad about the price increase, but I do wish that the base model came equipped with 256 gigabytes of storage as opposed to the paltry 128. That's pretty low for 2024 standards. But overall, 1 week later, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the Pixel 9 and I'm excited about the direction Google is going with these phones. It's really great to see that this non-Pro variant will have access to all of the new advanced AI features as it shares the Tensor G4 chip. I know that there was a lot of heartburn from non-Pro iPhone users who won't be able to access Apple Intelligence, which is frustrating to say the least. So I think the Pixel 9 remains the best bang for your buck Pixel so far, as the things that do differentiate the regular from the Pro to me really don't add up to too much. But hey, that's just me, and I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the Google Pixel 9? Do you think it's a home run like everyone's saying it is? Or do you think it's nothing more than an iPhone wannabe? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And in case you guys missed my review of the Pixel 8a and the iPhone 15, check them out here. They're going to help you be as informed as possible.